All right. We getting ready, everybody?
We are. First, a quick note to you guys and Logan for suggesting Calendly and Zoom info. I set them up the other day. It was pretty darn easy to do. Now I just got to stick that link everywhere possible to make it as easy as possible for people to schedule with me. I remember when I used it for with a different company, there was no email back and forth. It was pick a time and go, period.
You know what, Joe, the best way to do that is when you're creating the BombBomb experience in conjunction with that,
right,
is use the screen recording. Because when you start with the visual of you and then you're actually pointing down and you're actually taking them through the Calendly link and you're showing them the options they have to book with you and how to actually connect to a Zoom meeting, you can help educate them and build awareness around that, right? So a part of it is, yeah, you want the BombBomb video and the screen recording aspect of BombBomb to have tabs open where you can walk them through the experience you want them to have so they know exactly their options and how they can book with you and what they're supposed to do. It's almost like you're giving them directions.
Sure. Yep. No, that's a good suggestion.
And that's where you do that with all your automations and simply, especially in these times, help identify why booking with you would be the best way to talk about the current scenario and how things have shifted and changed.
Yep. As a matter of fact, I will go ahead. Not only will I do that with the personal videos I do with folks, but I will do it with the automated responses, that go out as well. So time to update those videos. What the heck? The more practice, the better.
Yeah.
Because I'm a free 99 guy, I sit there, even though I have the Calendly, I went ahead and I've got my Square, because Square gives you more than just one free account to use. So I've got the seller consultation, I got buyer consultation, but the other day after looking at what Logan had put up, I actually put up a virtual consultation that they can book as well. And then in there in the remarks, so you should be able to do this in Calendly too, make sure you put, I put like Zoom, Facebook Messenger, I put, FaceTime, I put several options for what they could have just so they could kind of get an idea what you're talking about. And that way, if they want, because like me, I'm about to shut down for the next 2 weeks to where I go pretty limited on what I do. But this way I figure, hey, there's a lot of people you're going to catch at home, whether they're unemployed because they want to be or otherwise or what have you. And if they're already looking at something when they're surfing at 2 or 3 in the morning because they got nowhere to be tomorrow to go to work, I'm going to see what kind of increase that gives me in bookings.
Yeah, let me show you guys kind of the workflow I think that is optimal in that experience. And that's why you want to use the screen recording to identify that, or else they're just going to get lost. Links just kind of appear there. So let me just share with you, when you are having someone open your email and then you have a video describing it and they actually click on that link, and that link goes directly to that Calendly, where you can have a lot of different options, right? And when they actually, use really good one-liners to identify what those options are, whether it's a consultation, whether it's, you're talking about the home value or a buyer side. But once they click on it, another thing you want to acknowledge with something like Calendly is you can not only choose your schedule, but then create questions within the calendar that you want answered. So you're almost pre-qualifying them. So when you get to your calendar and you go to your calendar, all of a sudden you have this Zoom meeting already booked in your calendar, and they're going to go there for that meeting, and they're going to click on that meeting, and they're going to meet with you virtually. So it's actually creating the experience from the first time they open that autoresponder or that personal email, if you're going and sending personal emails, and then you're actually walking them through that experience itself and saying, hey, here's where we're going to meet, and this is how we're going to meet, and it's easy. It's a free download, right? For most people, Zoom is a free download for people if they've never used it before. You're just kind of helping them understand how to do it properly.
Gotcha. A question regarding that, just because in this day and age, people have, less of an attention span than a goldfish. Do you find that you get more conversion, more response with just, hey, click here for a 30-second meeting, or going into all the details? And the reason I'm asking that is we know when we do the actual ad, the Facebook ads, the data gather lead gen page is very short. It's very brief. It's boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Do you find, go ahead.
Good question. I think in the beginning, in the autoresponder, short, less is more. But when you're personally reaching out to somebody, you know, when you got your board, you know, whiteboard picked up and you're talking to that person specifically, you can go into more details, right? When you have a visual of their home, you're talking about their address, like you're spending a little bit more time thoroughly to walk them through the experience you'd like them to have. I think less is more in the beginning on the autoresponders, because you're simply like, you want to make an incredible first impression. You want to be genuine and authentic.
Right.
And you don't want to like them to walk away and say, oh, this is not what I thought it was. Just, you know, intro, hey, I'm working on it. I'm going to send you a follow-up email shortly in the next 24 hours or whatever that is, just so they know personally that you'll be reaching out to them.
Cool.
Right, your autoresponder is only there to be there when you can't be, but then nothing's going to take the place of you personally. I would never allow your autoresponders to be there, like you're hoping that it's going to land you the meeting.
Gotcha.
That's just more of a quick intro, get to know me, or, you know, 20 seconds or less. I wouldn't spend too much time in that one. Anyone want to talk about that based on their own experience so far? I think that's an excellent thing, because your autoresponder initially should just be, and it should be changing, I think, at the moment.
Yeah.
To reflect the current times and really push the virtual experience at this moment more than ever. Connection is all what we're looking for, and we're all in isolation together. So why not virtually connect? What are you laughing about over there, Leon?
It's true. You know, we need, over the next couple of weeks, it's not going to be good anywhere in the world. And, you know, the two sides of this are this. I've been revamping my, you know, everybody says you need to have a business plan. If you ain't got one, get one, and you need to revamp things. I turn around and was asking a couple of my people I mentor the other day, what are you going to do for the next 2 weeks? Where is your main source of business? And then I go, let's get even better. Who's got money? Who gets paid every 2 weeks that still has a job? So where I'm at, I'm in a very large, like say, VA database for military. So the military gets paid whether they show up at work or not. State employees get paid whether they show up at work or not. So what I'm doing is I've built another Facebook page. I've got another YouTube video channel set up, and I'm excuse me, going after my military database. I'm still reaching out to all my other clients, and I've got my little notes. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna spend at least an hour a day going through HomeBot, updating CMAs, because once you update it and save it, it automatically sends out to people. So the idea behind it is, because you're locked down doesn't mean you're down and out, but be smart about where you chase your money, because this is a business, you're in a business. So what I'm doing is I'm hitting folks at home, because the thought of the day is this: unemployment claims in the US went 3.3 million applied last week. We'll be well over 4 million and something by next week. You're gonna have an interruption in flow. As of Monday, the credit scores went from 620 to qualify to 660. So based on the fact that a lot of people have people that are bumped out of being able to qualify, you might have deals on the table that, according to the guidelines, if they were not locked in on their loan on Monday, they might be sucking wind. If they are 659, they're done. So I still say reach out to them, touch base, always let them know you're there, but you still have to focus on how you're going to recover to come out of this yourself or maintain through it. So if you sit down and take a look at your database, your priority should be those that can, those that will, and even those that have, because, you know, referrals, 60% of your business should be referrals. So reach out to them as well, even if it's just a simple, hey, how you doing, checking on you, and you know, like we all say in here, we're in this together. So that basically is where I'm at right now for my stuff, and I've already got 2 deals I'm working on because of it. But if you haven't changed your mindset or mentality, business is not going to be the business we know, and there is a new norm. So everybody needs to sit down and figure out what their new norm is.
Leon, are you allowed to do real estate in terms of calling, expires, FSBOs, door knocking, all that stuff, or is it everything's purely in your home right now?
This is funny. I was on the owners meeting Friday. We had a thing when the message came out last week from the governor. He threw a blanket waiver out and said essential people only. And I know like California and them were essential for realtors, a couple other states. Washington was not. I had people with moving trucks that I could not even give keys to because I would have got fined to trip a key box. And our MLS is happy, $1,500, $2,500, $3,500. I'm like, and I had already arranged for the guy to go have the daughter give him keys, or I told him, hell, I don't care, break a window. It's your house. What are they gonna do, arrest you? So we have a limited amount of things we can do. And like the appraisers are doing drive-by appraisals right now if the lenders allow it. So even they've changed that up. So we know, we were told, like our governor, he brought up the National Guard last week, hasn't quite said what he's gonna do with them. And we're worried what the rumors are they're gonna do. But my anticipation is it's going to be a bit more of a serious lockdown. Right now we're stay home, stay safe, not, you know, stay in place, stay in shelter. But I see that coming because the way Washington State's been hit, the way we have, I expect it to get worse. And I don't mind it because I understand it. I like living. I plan on being an old dude when I die. So I'm not in a hurry to check out anytime soon. And so I've been kind of, you know, if you do something and anticipate it before they do it, you're ready for it, rather than they just slam the door on you and you're sitting there like, what do I do? So it's just a matter of planning ahead. And so I'm just really scaling back.
Well, that's where we are right now in New York. In New York, we cannot call expireds, cannot call FSBOs. The only people you can speak to are your sphere or someone you have a relationship with. If you're caught doing any real estate activity, it's a $2,000 fine.
Yeah, we're not that bad yet.
Same in California.
It's coming.
Go ahead, Whitney. What were you saying? Same in California?
Oh, California, we're pretty similar to New York as far as restrictions. We can't reach out to cold business, just warm leads, sphere, all that fun stuff.
Well, that's not going on in Arizona, but what do you mean by no cold business? Does that include StreetText?
No.
That's warm because it's coming in. This is
Okay, gotcha.
prospecting and all that fun stuff.
Gotcha. But basically no calling out and bugging people.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know,
or mailing or marketing. We can't do any of that either.
No walkthroughs.
I think it's important to be educators in this moment for people, right? And to move away from trying to sell or get them to sell their house or even buy with you to educating them on what's currently happening and giving them a lot of like wisdom on how to move forward in the midst of this.
Marcus, can you spend maybe some screen sharing on showing us how to do, let's say, a custom ad where we can do that? Maybe either we'll do a video where we can upload to a landing page that we have, kind of maybe go over that a little bit so that we can kind of educate ourselves on how to go ahead and educate others.
And by the way, thank you for saying that. You were reading my mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, John, you can talk about this on this one. Would that be more of an ad tweak style class for that type of custom ad? And what would that be to create that type of experience for what they're looking for?
Yeah, so if it'd be more of an ad tweaks type thing. But one thing I want to start by is just saying that, you know, those restrictions, you know, they seem like they're a lot, but it kind of makes sense for this time that we're in. This isn't the time to go after that, you know, that aggressive, hard sale, hard door knocking, hard prospecting, hard cold calling. This is the time to kind of start with a real warm, pick up your referrals, the phone for your referrals, and just say like, hey, how are things going? Just text people. If you just took 20 or 30 people every single day and just sent them a message, hey, how are you doing? The referral business that will start to open up around that will start to show up. As far as with digital prospecting, this is it's a big opportunity, right? Because people are at home and they're wondering what's going on with their marketplace. This morning we're having a conversation and Troy had some really good ideas around this, so maybe he can jump in as well. But the idea is this is really the ideal time to educate people on the facts. You know, Leon, you just said it too. There's a lot of rumors going around, and rumors are really when there's a lot of uncertainty. Rumors kind of heighten things. People get even more nervous. They're afraid. What's the governor general going to do? What's this going to happen? Who's this? You know, who's you know, now they're bringing out the guards. Why are they doing that? So there's that kind of uncertainty, that rumors. But it's the same thing in the real estate market for the you know, the homeowner or the home seller or the home buyer. They're sitting there and they're wondering, okay, what's going on with the market? Well, the reality is that the market is still active, but people assume that it's not active. In some places, it's really hard to, like, there's just literally a 2-week lockdown. Like, so it's really hard. So for 2 weeks, you can't really use that as a period of time. But, you know, just a couple of days ago, that same guy I shared last week, Sean Worsfold, posted another post and he's like, hey, you know, this home, you know, just sold another home yesterday, really excited, put the deal together. And what was kind of neat about that, Troy shared, is that that home actually had been on the market for a long time. So the fact is it just closed in the worst possible time, which is amazing. So so I think that what you have to do is you have to look at what were the facts 3 weeks ago. What did the market look like 3 weeks ago? And then what's the reality is now is that all those home owners that are thinking about listing are putting their home on pause, but they're going to unpause very soon. And there's this beautiful graph. So I'm going to get into that, like what kind of ads to create, but I'm going to start with this first. There's this beautiful graph that kind of highlights things. And I'm going to try to, I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if I can do this. Do a whiteboard. I'm going to try my best to whiteboard this out for you guys. Can you see that whiteboard?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you think this is essentially, here's the market, and this is time. We'll call it T. So this is right now, this is today. And then over here is, let's say it's, 3 years out, and this is 0. So it's right now. Over time, we don't know when it's going to happen exactly, but things are going to return back to normal. Let's just say it's sort of right around here. Life gets back to normal. So we don't know, is it going to be 2 months? Is it going to be 4 months? Is it going to be 6 months? It's going to take time. But eventually it's going to return back to normal. So, here's your business, and it's sort of right here. And then this is the reality for most businesses at this place. And they're saying, okay, what do I do? Do I use this as an opportunity to, am I freezing in the marketplace? Well, freezing in the marketplace is basically I'm not willing to adapt. So if they're not willing to adapt, the business is going to kind of go like this. For some people, they're going to go into, okay, well, I'm not going to freeze. I'm going to take action, but it's kind of a hold pattern for a while. So I want to hold. Well, you can do that, but the problem with the hold pattern is it's going to end up looking a little bit like this. And so when the market goes back to being normal, what's happened to prepare, what's happened to really prepare your business for the growth that's going to come. And then there's going to be other people that are going to use this and see that, okay, I'm going to really invest in adapting and putting together the strategies that are going to work. And their business is going to look a little bit like this. And then it's going to start to go up. And then it's going to go up in a big way because of the fact that right here, when that shift happens, they're going to have put and invested all of that energy in the front part to get them to the position where they need to be. So this adapting mode, and I think that what's key here is everybody in this mastermind is already in this space. Think about it. You're already prospecting digitally. You're running ads. You're investing in your future business. You've already adapted. You're talking about how can we be running Zoom calls with our clients? How do we set up Calendly? You're already on that line, that trajectory. So now this is going to take time to see this, but if you stay on this course, the outcome is really good. So with that in mind, I'm going to jump in and I'll share. Let's have a look here.
What do you do if you have no patience?
Well, there's another grid. Actually, Troy, do you want to share that other grid real quick?
Ira's probably like, dude, chill out. I told you a million times.
That's hilarious. Though it's true. So the reality is now has our attention, right? Now is crazy. 3 months ago, everybody's attention was something else. There was something else that was the biggest deal in the world. That was now. But we've forgotten about what happened 3 months ago. Even though 3 months ago there was this big deal, think about it. Like it wasn't so long ago that impeachment was going on. And that was who here has thought about the impeachment lately, right? Because time moves and big events happen, but we have to remember that it's like we're talking about that. You're talking about the goldfish analogy there. I think that's a great one, which is the fact is that, yeah, it's true. We have attention spans of goldfish, but we need to sort of step out and project a little bit as to where we're going. My father-in-law, he gave me this great line a couple of weeks ago, and he said, there's no blueprint for this. So you're going to have to create one by Wednesday. And I love that he gave me a time frame. And but the key there is, it's true. There is no blueprint for this. So everybody needs to create their own blueprint. And it's not actually that hard when you step out and you say, okay, well, where do I want to be 12 months from now? What's my ideal situation? Well, the fact is that the spring market that I was planning for is getting delayed. It's getting delayed for every business. Like there's not a single person who's going to have the spring market that they would have had, you know, in these conditions. So it's getting pushed back for everybody. So we're all in the same boat, but there's going to be some people who really win and they're going to see growth, and there's going to be some people who won't. The difference will be, where are they looking at 12 months from now? So what are their goals? And then what are they working backwards to achieve those goals? So that's so Troy's got this really great strategy. So the key here is, you are an education expert. You know the facts of what the marketplace was like 30 days ago. You know you have more insight, more information coming towards you through, you know, your broker, through every angle, through you can speak to, you know, if you have relationships with, you know, lenders, mortgage brokers, this is the time to really leverage those relationships, because they have a ton of information what's going on with the banks, what's going on with the lenders, what's going on in the market. And you can actually pool that information, and you can pull them into some of these resources that you're now providing to your database. And you can do a 30-second video. And I think this is something that everybody should do right now. So every time you run an ad with StreetText, we're using a conversion pixel and you're pixeling that audience. I would take that pixel and I would create a custom retargeting ad to everybody that you're targeting. And I'll take a 30-second video and, you know, maybe a minute long, just kind of saying, hey, you know, here's the reality of the marketplace. This is what it was like 30 days ago. The fact is, there's still people, there's still markets still active. There's, you know, but everyone's putting it off until the summer. So what that means is, it's not the end of the world, it's a pause for the world. It's a big difference. And the fact is that things are going to get back to, you know, starting again in a bit. So how would you do that? Well, the easiest possible way, I think, would, if you want to create a custom ad with StreetText, would be to launch a custom lead ad. Take that lead ad, bring it to a funnel where you are essentially capturing them. Hey, if you want to stay up to date with market information, fill in this form, so on. And then go into that ad that you create on the Facebook Ads Manager and upload a custom video, and replace the content of that ad with a custom video, and then turn that into a lead ad. I think that will be a really powerful time right now, because even if people don't click and turn into the traditional lead, you've already got them as a contact. You just know that those people are now seeing you, and they're seeing you as an education first. And so I'm gonna actually give this to, pass this off to Troy, because he has a really good idea as to how exactly to present that information and show just how, you know, the reality of the marketplace. And remember, how we feel can be, we might feel a little nervous right now. That's fine. That's normal. That's okay. But what's true and how we feel are not always the same thing. So what is true about the market economics is that right now we're in a world where there is way more demand than there is supply. For most markets, if you look, you know, LA, Hollywood, most, you know, even in like Vancouver, New York, Florida, where the projected growth of those places is, the population is growing, which means demand for the available inventory is only going up over the next 5, 10, 15 years. You just have to look at that and realize, okay, the market, no matter what happens, is ultimately going up. So if you just remember that, and you remember, okay, this is the reality of the marketplace, demand is increasing, it kind of steps outside from this weird time that we're in, and we realize, okay, well, that's true. That's a fact. That's something I can stand on. I know that to be true. And you can also look at other events around what's true, and you know what the market was like 30 days ago. You know that people are still buying and selling today in the midst of things. Those are other facts you can stand on. So always just kind of step out and be like, okay, what's true? What's real? What's actually happening? And then, you know, kind of filter the other facts that aren't so much facts, but they're just kind of impeding right now, because media has got everyone's attention right now. And media is a bit of a sensationalist beast. It thrives on times like this because it knows that it can now sell advertising. It can sell its own information to people. And then the problem is because it's so sensationalist, it's so fear-based, it creates this heightened sense of confusion in the marketplace. And so if we step outside and say, okay, what are our filters? Am I talking to our lenders? Am I talking to banks? Am I talking to people who are wise and aren't sort of in this like doomsday grid? So anyways, I'm going to pass this up to Troy. Could you share that grid, Troy, and then maybe talk about that market, that video idea that you had, and then as well walk them through creating a custom ad? That would be great.
So John, the grid, I'm not actually sure what you were talking about there.
You know,
we talked through a lot of things.
Yeah, the grid's the one that has the 4 boxes. So you have the time frame.
Oh.
And the situation.
Okay, sure. Just give me a second to load that up. Let me just bring it up here. Yeah, we've talked about a lot of things, and kind of jumping on just on the tail end of what John was talking about there. What kind of triggered with me, and I was reading an article, and it was by the Globe and Mail here up in Canada, and the predictions by the Royal Bank of Canada of where the housing market's actually going to go, and they're, you know, doom and gloom. They're saying, you know, it's going to be a 30% nosedive, and it's going to be a 20-year, you know, low that we've never seen before, that sort of thing. Now, I've been watching, and I have a number of agents in my newsfeed, and I'm watching him locally here, and John even like mentioning, you know, it's Sean Worsfold, who's actually a good friend of mine, and he's selling homes. He's listing homes, he's closing deals. And what I'm seeing, and right now, a lot of people are like, they're watching the news and we're not even sure what to believe anymore, right? It's kind of all over the place. And we have the opportunity to kind of step into that space and be leaders in this space and give the real true facts of everything that's out there, right? The fact is, I've made a listing. Fact is, I've closed deals. Fact is, people are still interested in the value of their home. Fact is, you know, and because when I see things like, oh, it's going to be a 30% nosedive, well, that's sensationalism. We actually don't even know that yet. What we know is what's right now. And if we can lead out there and actually get out there and present these facts, this is what's going on. Here's the facts of what we can do. Here's the facts of what we can't do. When somebody comes in there and is like very factual, is very calm, is very inviting, right? Let me show your personality, show that you're, you know, upbeat about this. This is how things are, you know, it's just a different situation, right? What we're looking at is a reset in many ways, right? Which can actually be exciting. So that's, I think, what I would present to people. Now, there's many ways you can do it. You know, we've talked about Facebook friends lists in the past. Get in those friends lists, do a post, do a video, maybe show them a little graph of things that are going on. I mean, get creative with how you want to present that. But I think especially video, you know, pull up a whiteboard and be like, here's the monthly market report. Here's what's going on during COVID. People are going to click on that. They're going to see something. They want to know. They're like, is it crazy? Like, is it, you know, everybody's like, oh my gosh, we're not going to do anything and that sort of thing, but kind of just label out what's going on in a very calm way. You know, that's factual. Do those videos because that's organic retargeting. Now, then if you want to use StreetText, you can also do a retargeting ad using the custom lead ad. Set that in there. That's going to go to everybody who's ever clicked on any of your ads, right? So that's not just people that you're also friends with. That's also like everybody that's, you know, that's in there. And what I'm going to do is I will, after I show the grid, I'll drop 2 links in the chat here. So both are how to build out that custom lead ad, and then also how to build out a retargeting ad. That'll kind of give you an idea of how to build that out. And maybe I can work with Steven here and we can put something together that's more specific to that. But when you build out the custom lead ad, on the very end of it, you can actually have a URL that will take, you know, the person to wherever you want to put them. So record, if you're using BombBomb, record a video and use the URL for the BombBomb video. It'll take them right there. If you have that market report, you give them that information, right? Drop them somewhere.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Quick question about the custom ad. I noticed when I looked at it, and I want to do one myself because I looked at the stats, and the stats are pretty amazing. And I actually hired a copywriter to help me with it because I'm not a great copywriter. Where did those stats come from, and are they based on a certain content or on the front end that garnered those conversion percentages, email percentages, and whatever? Or is that from an aggregate of everybody that did a custom ad? I'm just trying to get an idea of what the front end of that ad looks like and what the workflow of it and the funnel looks like. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. John, can you speak? Because I know the metrics on the ad are yeah, they're a little bit sensational. I think it is the click to contact rate also says that it's 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, because I looked at it, I was like, wait a minute, 80% email or something like that. I was like, I want to know who's ever doing their custom ad to garner that, what they're doing.
Okay, so that's going to be a little bit hard to aggregate because the custom lead ad is going to be everybody's doing something different, right? So it's on average across everybody that's using that particular funnel, right? So some people are, depending on what they're doing, are getting a really high click to contact rate. I think it's reporting right now, it's like over 100%. And John maybe can speak as to why it's reporting that, because that is high. But it still is a really good click to contact rate.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. So the custom lead ad is skewed. So if you look at the metrics on any of the other funnels, you're going to see like normal statistics. On the custom lead ad, what's happening is, of course, you've got these just different custom campaigns. Some of them are just like through the roof doing really well. The problem is that the way the custom ad solution is working right now, the metrics they're getting, as soon as you're running like 2 or 3 different custom ads, all getting pulled in the same. So it's amplifying those results. So that's something we're got to pull out there. The key there is that there are people running incredible custom ads right now. So as a community, we got to almost come together and start sharing some of the custom ads that we're running, because that's going to help everybody. But I think, Troy, if you could walk through not just creating the custom ad, but even potentially how to go on the back end and so if actually I'll walk. Let me do this real quick. Let me share my screen.
And while John's finding that, feel free to unmute yourself and, you know, just walk us through any positive experiences you've had lately, right?
I'm going to share. Grant didn't share, but he put in the comments. And Grant said he has 3 listing appointments through StreetText leads that are set up and ready to go when times lift up and everything. And he's been having great success with StreetText. So, I mean, we've been hearing, I think because we get to see a lot of you all over, like my Facebook feed is a lot of realtors from a lot of different places. And I've been hearing stories of homes being sold. Even on the lab code agents, I saw today somebody put something about a virtual virtual walkthroughs. Does this ever work for you? And the amount of agents saying they sold a home with a virtual walkthrough was pretty astounding. So I think what we need to reach for right now is our belief is in question. And if your belief is in question, then what happens is you don't want to put the action in because you don't believe something's going to come out on the other side of it. And this is a hard time to believe, but it's one of the more important times to believe in your ability to grow your business and be a service oriented. I think right now, more than ever, you need to be service oriented. You need to be thinking about, how do I go the extra mile? So Joe Perfect, I love that he's going in. He said, I'm going into my local businesses and I'm doing like interviews, like maybe not going in, but maybe Zoom interviews about how you're doing. Like what other industries right now are suffering way more than us? Restaurant businesses, fitness businesses, massage therapy, physical therapy, like all of these businesses are suffering really well. So how do you get yourself into your community, meet more people? Start doing some Facebook, like one-on-one lives with your fitness business. Hey community, this is how you can support this fitness business down the road. They're renting their equipment out to try to pay their rent. Go on by and help with them and do this. Hey, Do you know that they do takeout? Do you know in BC here, they just lift the liquor laws and you can have liquor delivered to your house from a restaurant. So one of our favorite places over here does margaritas, and they say they make a lot of money on margaritas. They're just around the road. So I was talking to them the other day, and they have made their margarita mix now in a bottle that can be shipped, and they tell you all the recipes of how to make it. They're having online margarita parties. So how do you be someone who's fun and energetic in this time right now and draw attention and start to meet people in your community? You serve them, you do fun things like that. So be inventive and creative in this time of how you could be a face of like fun and good news heading up. People are looking for that. And I mean, that's going to multiply when all the curtain comes down from all of this. So look for those good stories of things going on to prop up your belief that it's possible to be able to do business still in a time like this. I think that's really important.
Ira, that's amazing. Another thing that I think you can do at this point is heading into the spring. This is the perfect time to help homeowners know what they can do to actually increase the value of their house, right? A lot of them are going to be spending time at their home, and they might have to wait to put their house on the market, perhaps. And so in the meantime, I'm going through this myself, painting my fence, painting the driveway, doing these small things that add curb appeal that will separate them as they put their house in the market that they wouldn't have done otherwise, but now they have the time to do. Painting in the house goes a long way. What are some of the small things they can do to their home right now that will add value and make it competitive to when they go on the market? Those things they wouldn't have done otherwise. And so you can help give them tips on how to increase the value of their home for very inexpensive ways of doing that at the moment. That add curb appeal that are going to separate them from their neighbors and make it unique when they do go to sell.
Or maybe bring it into your email campaigns right now too.
Yeah.
Don't make your email campaigns all about you. So what if your day 10 email or your day 14 email said, hey, my favorite Mexican restaurant is suffering right now. Did you know that they're delivering margaritas? You might need a margarita. And your bomb video is you saying like, let's get out and support our community. Hey, did you know at 7 o'clock, people are standing on their balconies cheering for like the healthcare workers? Let's do that. Let's go out and do that as a community. So if your emails aren't always pointing back to you and your situation, it's going to go a long way right now in terms of you winning influence over your community as somebody who's for them. And when I'm hiring someone to do something that's a huge deal in my home, I want somebody that's for me. And in times like these, those people rise to the surface. So how is your communication looking? Does your communication in your text, does your communication in your emails, does your communication on Facebook point to, I want business, I feel like I'm drowning and that's my belief? Or is it, I know that we're gonna get through this and I'm just gonna stand up and serve, knowing on the other side of this that, I'll be rewarded in due time. It's a hard mindset to get into, but get close to other people who have that mindset and be careful what you're letting into your brain right now.
I appreciate you saying that, Ira. And one thing I've been finding is, yes, I know I've got some anxiety and fear about, what's going on around here and just the world. But I'm also finding that I temper it a little bit. And the more I'm showing empathy and compassion, because everybody is feeling, I think, the same way, it helps me connect a little bit more. That's one of the reasons I am working on video a little bit more, because that comes across in video as opposed to, you gotta, we're all in this together, but it has to be more than just saying it. It's gotta be a feeling behind it. And I've been practicing that because I'm scared. I know other folks are. And if we can all come together, I think at the end of the day, a big job is being a quiet therapist. Hello.
Yeah.
So what the hell?
Don't lose your sense of humor during the period, because if everybody preaches gloom and doom, there's nothing to look up forward to. As much as we sit here and talk about the stuff on Facebook, there's a couple things out there that they were doing. If you do videos, 3-minute video on Facebook, it's got to be 3 minutes. That gives you the relevance. I wanted to pop something up here real quick. Can't see this or not. But basically, I just had a YouTube subscription this morning that came in, and it's going to do what it's going to do. But YouTube is also, you know, Google owns it. Google owns the world. So while you're sitting home, get your YouTube channels up and running. If you're not sure how to do it, somebody drunk, high, combination of the two at 3 in the morning somewhere made something that'll work. Take a minute, go sit down, get your YouTube channels up. When you get your videos, post them in the YouTube, and then post those into Facebook. It correlates, it matches up, because what'll happen is Google, by owning YouTube, will index what's on there. If you have the magic numbers 50 plus videos, they will go ahead and you start getting relevance. But the thing is, that YouTube subscription, I just built that channel the other day, and I haven't even had time to start blasting it out there yet, and I'm already starting to get found. So I'll go back and I'll thank her. And you know, I don't care if I'm sitting on the couch. If you get a funny moment, something funny happens, get the video, laugh at yourself. If you can laugh at yourself, people, you know, they relate. You know, Marx is always talking about the human aspect of something. So, you know, you say you're in it together, get something that's relatable when they look at that, whether the kids do something funny. It's like, you know, I was saying last week, that famous one about stuck home with the wife and kids for option A and B, and they didn't even get B out. And the guy goes, B, B, B. So take a moment to sit back and just don't look at always the bad things in life. Let's look for some of the positive things and the funny things, and share that, because people need something to laugh about right now. The whole world is going to suffer. So everybody needs a laugh.
Yeah, and to that end, it's actually, if you start to watch, I'm trying to get better on my own timeline and posting more things, but I've been posting, you know, trying to balance going, here's something more inspirational, and then here's some humor, right? And inspirational humor, trying to keep people's spirits up. And instead of like, I mean, everybody's looking through their news feed and they're like, oh my gosh, doom and gloom, right? If you come across and we can laugh, we were even joking, like, people are like on Netflix and they're watching like all the pandemic movies. Like, why are you watching those? Like, go watch a comedy, for crying out loud. Go to Hallmark movies. That's what we need to be watching, not like scaring the pants off of ourselves, right? So, but I think if we can come across as that, like start sharing, you know, let's be the opposite of the news, for crying out loud. We can be an uprising, you know? And what's one of the best ways to boost your immune system? It's a laugh, right? Laughter is good medicine.
So one of the practical things you could do right now too to get that content out there is take your StreetText leads, if you're not doing that right now, and find them on Facebook and add them as friends. Does everybody know how to do that? You can go in and add friends lists so that you are posting content that people are getting to know you in these times as a positive influence. So if you're looking for something practical to do, searching out, you can search a person in your field. And I know Marcus did a good little, like, using Facebook as a CRM. What a great time to learn how to do that right now. So learn to take your StreetText leads, put them into friends lists on Facebook, and then flood your Facebook content with the laughs, flood your Facebook content with the positive person. Because I know for myself this morning, I'm avoiding a lot of Facebook. And when I went through as a quick scroll, there were a couple people where I was like, my heart just sinks when I see their posts. And there's a couple people I gravitate towards because they're hopeful. Be the person that people gravitate towards. So take your StreetText leads right now and do that extra legwork to find them on Facebook and add them to friends lists and put content in there, because they'll start building relationship with you, even though you might not know it. They're just watching you. They're silently observing. But in the back of their mind, they're like, I like Whitney. I like George. I like Grant. I like these people. Like, you're just building a kin relationship at a time where people are looking for connection and relationships. That's a strong way to win right now. Up your Facebook game.
Hey, and guess what? If you don't like the posts you're seeing, unfollow them, right? If you're getting negative stuff in your newsfeed, unfollow them. You, on every single person, can unfollow, or you can create a people that you want to see first, right? And follow the people, just like you do with Instagram. Follow the people that you're pouring into you. You're loving in the content. The influence is good. It's positivity. And unfollow the people that are putting anything that's doom and gloom, because those are not the people you want in your life. And you need to be the light for the people that are following you. So same thing, you need to help, iron sharpens iron, everybody. That's why you're here.
You can do a 30-day pause too. I did that as well for a couple people in my feed. Like, I love them. They're great people. They're awesome. And I know that in this 30 days, they'll you know, they'll be back to usual. So I just did a pretty big pause.
True social distancing.
Yeah. So Joe stepped out already. So I love what he said there in the comments. You know, he's been reaching to local business owners and then basically asking them to do like a brief video. This is another way you can just show your camaraderie with different businesses in the marketplace. If you can kind of bring a few people together, do some videos. I think video campaigns right now, whether you're doing it through email is like your own channel. You own that channel. So it's great. So if you could do some emails, video series, if you did some retargeting ads with those same videos, these are all incredible branding things. So funny story, I do a lot of testing on StreetText, as you can imagine, and my token is connected to a account and I cannot find it for the life of me. So I have to figure out where it's assigned so I can show these this demo. But what I'm thinking we could do is we should do a second mastermind tomorrow around the same time, maybe an hour later, and we can just do a shorter version where maybe for 30 minutes or 20 minutes, we'll just go through what we were talking about, creating the video ad, and walk everybody through how to set some retargeting right now for them. I think that would be a really powerful use of like tangible thing that we can take away. And as far as the ideas, what I'd like to do is, you know, everybody's got different things that they're running, and I love the YouTube idea. I love the, you know, doing the collaboration with different businesses. What else? I see a hand. What else are people doing?
I actually have a question for Leon.
You got a question?
Leon, you are a YouTuber.
You scare me, girl.
And I am like seriously the worst YouTuber ever, but I've had a channel forever, and I have like different playlists. So I created a playlist for my Ask Wendy channel that I guess isn't really a channel because it's on a playlist.
Correct.
Would it be better if I just created a whole new channel? Because like on my playlist, I have a Wendy Humphreys Goss, and then it's like, here's all our drone videos, and then, you know, here's just my company, here's just my personal stuff, here's Ask Wendy. And so I have a bunch of different playlists. So I've been sharing the playlist, and people don't really follow or like or anything. So I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you what, you've had good success moving blindly through StreetText. You're one of my heroes, girl. Here's what I advise everybody. I've got several YouTube channels. You can be specific or general. My general YouTube channel is all the Puget Sound communities, because that way if someone's searching, it's there. I just dump houses in there. You can dump your videos in more than one channel. So like I said the other day, I create a specific channel for military because I'm going to just start blasting it to get it in there. But sit down, take a minute. There's something called TubeBuddy. Go look at that. I think they got a free trial because I'm the free 99 guy. Look at that and see. What's nice about that is when you build a channel and post something, it'll turn around and give you all the keywords. It goes into Google and looks and sees what Google's looking for to give relevance. And then even though Google has said that they no longer do keywords and stuff like that, they're lying. So you can post that stuff underneath your videos that you put inside the YouTube channel. And like if I put a house, I'll put the house address, I put the zip code. People search by zip code. But then I'll go back, I'll do the community. I'll put the bedrooms, I'll put square footage. I just put everything relevant to that area. So when you go build your YouTube channel, make one that's gonna actually fit what you want. Try to start it out alphabetically with something that starts with an A, all about Vancouver, all about this, all about that, because in indexing,
Ask Wendy, that's an A?
there you see, you're on it already. I told you, girl, you're moving. So once you get that in there and you start getting your keywords in there, I mix up the videos. So what I'm going to do this week is I'm actually going to do a couple more all about videos, because with the interest rates changing, they need to know that, especially with the credit scores changing, that is a very big hit. And then also all about financing. Maybe when they say interviews, catch a lender, do a Zoom interview. Once again, free 99. Zoom is free. Get a lender to talk to you about with the credit score changing, what impact that's had, but also very importantly, the impact of all the people drawing unemployment, how that's going to impact what they do. Because you don't want people that are discouraged, but in banking business, some of these folks that will have to wait, at least they have a better idea. And then it comes back to us as brokers to be able to do the follow-up. I don't care if you put it like my phone, there's the calendar, it goes with me everywhere I go. I put reminders in there. I use Lion Desk. I might set up texts as reminders to go out to them, just say, hey, touch and base, this and that. But what you do with that YouTube channel is once you have everything in there, I don't just put 10 videos a day in my Facebook business thing, post a couple of, one a day is still good enough, because people don't want to come and scroll down 2.5 pages of Facebook to see what Wendy said 3 days ago. So if you post it where there's maybe one a day, that's 5 or 6, they'll come in, they'll look at it, they'll be like, oh, okay. And they get to it in a couple minutes, and you don't lose their attention and then lose them, because once you lose a person, they don't come back. And if you turn around and you're posting your YouTube videos on Facebook, the magic is as soon as they click it, they are now in your face from Facebook to YouTube, and YouTube is defaulted automatically to automatically keep going. So they're going to look at Wendy's videos all the way through there until they exit out. But now between the Facebook and between the YouTube, you have them. And when you're posting something new, I was saying in the chat, make sure you put it in your story. I hadn't been posting on Facebook, you add to your story. That gives you more relevance, just like in Instagram and stuff like that, where when you're posting, it'll notify people, it'll take them to where you're at. You'll get more business and traffic flowing through there.
Did you say there's a YouTube story?
Not in the YouTube.
Or did you say Facebook story?
Facebook stories. So you add your stories.
And then have it linked to.
Yeah, and it automatically pulls them over, because the minute they click on your YouTube video that's in Facebook, they pull it into your YouTube channel.
You can do that
the idea behind it is wherever you're at, you want them coming in to see Wendy and following Wendy wherever she's at. So if you do your stories, like Marcus, I laugh. I get the notifications. I'll go peek to make sure he's not in trouble, needing help somewhere, and then I just go on what I do. But that is how you get relevance. And if you have time, Google it, go into YouTube and just say, how do I get relevance or whatever. And like I said, somebody's posted it somewhere. You'll get something.
IGTV is getting big too right now.
I've got that.
Yeah. So
Okay, I did
Wendy,
try IGTV. And
Wendy, what about all about Wendy, or all of, Ask Wendy Las Vegas or something? Add in the Vegas at the end. All about Las Vegas with Wendy. I don't know. Just kind of
or ask Wendy about Las Vegas real estate.
That's right.
Yeah, and my key, here's a key suggestion. Go find out the most popular zip code and put that in there with it too. Because when it comes to keywords and people searching, they're going to look for something, the keyword to pull them to you. And sometimes it's the accidental thing you put in there that gets you the post activity.
For the post or for the title?
Title, because the title will never change.
There's so many good zip codes. All right.
So here's the thing about that though. You can put the codes for keywords in the lower stuff. So when you put a post in there and you're putting stuff in there, let's just say you were talking about the strip and how bare it is. And let's say you drive down the strip. I would turn around and drive down the strip, make a clip, put that in Facebook as far as just a Facebook all about post, but then I'd build a YouTube one that's a little longer and put that in there. And then your keywords, just put all the zip codes and whatever. Anybody searching, it's gonna come up.
Oh, cool. Thank you. And then you were saying the Instagram, what'd you say, IGTV or whatever, Marcus? Yeah. So I tried one of those, and when I added the picture, to whatever that's called, it flips me upside down. So all of my IGTV looks upside down. Did anybody have trouble with that?
No, I mean, I would just start searching, because there's probably experts out there on IGTV. Just use a Google search on IGTV best practices, and you'll start seeing people who are doing it and doing it well, right? Always look for those people that are already done it for you. And there's probably articles and video tutorials out there already for how to put that across. Because the key is we want to make it easy on ourselves to put it through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, the more social media channels you can get at one time. And I think there's a lot of those platforms where you can do that if then that type of scenario. So look for those platforms too that'll push them all out at the same time for you.
Right, I do have 2 of them connected. Like
I do too, yeah, but it's because sometimes, you're trying to figure out, should I do it the personal way? Should I do it with my business side? And you're trying to look at all that. And I think at the end of the day, I think it's the personal side where you're going to win the most amount of influence with people. Your business side, I always say it's the pay to play side. And, a lot of people have to pay to get that across, but your personal side is where you want them to follow you. And that's where they're going to be continually organically in the news feed. And that's why we always preach about friend requesting everybody so you can get that connection.
Right. Awesome.
So one thing I want to add on these strategies is the key here to all of this is thinking long term. So, you know, some of you may know, some of you won't. I have a blog, and I started the blog a long time ago. And for the first 2 years, like easily the first 2 years, I was getting maybe 9 visits a day. And, you know, and I wasn't doing it for the visits. I was just writing it because for me, it was a platform, a vehicle to, you know, I wanted to write something, you know, maybe I was just processing a strategy or a thought or something, and I wanted to kind of have a place to remember it. So I was just doing it for myself. And so I started writing it, and then, you know, after about 2 years, I remember I watched my traffic increase from 9 to maybe like 18 visits a day. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's growing, but that's not really what's motivating me. So I keep going. And I haven't checked it for a long time. And then I see that I'm getting all these subscribers, and I check my traffic one day, and I was getting, oh, I don't know, like 1,000 visits a day. And I was like, oh, wow, that's jumped up real fast. Well, 4 or 5 years later, I was getting 500,000 visits. And yeah, so it's, it went through the roof. But the key is it took a long time. So when we talk about the fact that, you know, Facebook is the greatest opportunity I've ever seen when it comes to building a database, it's, you know, the key is it's allowing you to get in front of people, but all of these things, you got to have a long-term mindset. It takes time to invest in it, but the reward is down the road. I love that Warren Buffett quote, which is, you know, someone's sitting under a tree because someone else planted a long time ago. And the best time to plant a tree is today. And I think right now is this incredible opportunity where we have the ability to have some space, some time, where we're normally running around, you know, going to this listing or that listing or doing this or getting there and you know, different appointments or flying to conferences, you name it. We suddenly have the space of time where we can start saying, okay, what am I planting? What are the trees that I'm planting? It might take a year, 2 years, 3 years. Don't put a time frame on it. Just keep figuring out what are the things that I enjoy doing intrinsically, that I find is rewarding and motivating, that I see is serving my clientele, it's serving my customers, it's serving the people that I've done business with, it's serving my market, it's serving my lead generation prospects, and see if you can't merge it together. I spoke with a guy, Wilco, maybe some of you know him. He's got the business Up Viral and Connexio. And I asked him, I said, Wilco, how are you scaling yourself? And he said, well, I try to make sure that whatever I'm working on is evergreen. So, and I think the way you can think of it is that if you're working on something that's going to be benefiting your clients, see if you can't create a resource that's also going to benefit your past clients and your lead generation referral network at the same time. So when you create a video that's really useful for your past clients, guess what? It's going to be really useful for your clients, and it's going to be really useful for your lead generation network. So it's, the more you do that, that's the more you start to really maximize your impact in business. And the fact is, over time, that's where, like I reached out to Donna this week just to see how she's doing with everything. And she's like, Don, I'm doing really well. I said, what are you doing right now? She's like, I'm doing the same thing I've always done. So it's, you know, she's got that incredible course that you have access to, but, and if you don't have access, just let me know and I'll make sure you have access to it. But she really understood the fact that it's just keep working the little things. So I see like everybody here is already doing that. It's just so good. But that's how you create that long-term mindset. And then when you have that long-term mindset, well, guess what? Time takes care of itself. Every day, we're all blessed to have the fact that day goes after day. Like, 4 months will go by like this. We'll all be talking about, laughing about the situation. Doesn't feel very funny right now, but we'll be laughing about it. And time will have taken care of itself. But if we use the time that we have now, we're going to be light years ahead in 4 months. Our business can be more organized. We can have a better plan for our year. We can have you can even be forecasting what you want to be doing next year. There's so many opportunities in front of us. We can have better systems. We can go through our emails. We can really tailor our messaging. We can put together our spring, summer, and fall packages we want to mail people. Like, these are all powerful things that we can be working on right now.
Well said.
I was gonna say it back to you, Marcus.
Well, it's past the hour, so I'm gonna be sensitive to everybody and get them on their day. But yeah, I mean, hey, continue driving content in the insider group. Whatever you want to discuss next week, let us know, right? Because we're always open. And John and Troy and Ira and Logan and I, we can put together content as well organically and push it back, and we can do some screen recording to kind of, you know, as we were trying to do, Jonathan, just there. We don't even need a mastermind for it. We can just create a video to show everybody how to do that properly. And so I would say, well, you can just basically drop that in the insider group, put it in the announcement section. And we try to put everything relevant in the announcement section anyway. So just look for posts that are in the announcement section. And then if you like something, we could always pin it in there for things that are relevant to help you grow your business right now.
So how about next week, since it wouldn't take long, you can record ahead of time, let's go ahead and put something together real quick to show how we can go into our dashboard and maybe post or make the changes for the updates for just following up for what's going on now. Some people don't know. We can have a quick thing that shows how to post a video, have something to show, you know, just maybe everybody in the group might be able to post something they send out that they feel works or could be effective. And then we can take a minute, pick an account to pick on somebody other than like me, and put it in their dashboard and let it run live so they can see it in real time.
Yeah, and I want to encourage everybody too to share the virtual experiences they're creating right now and the relationships through video, right? How they're connecting, how they're changing their messaging, what their videos look like. Have they been successful on the virtual side of home tours and so forth? Like, I want to see what you guys are actually doing out there, and send us some examples. Sound good?
Just
Thanks,
in
Marcus.
time,
Thanks,
the kids
everyone.
and the dog.
Thank you. See ya.
My kids are back. Talk soon.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Thanks all.